Hey babes, I'm Alexis.
And I'm Lynette.
And this is Getting the D. We are coming live from a different location today, as you can probably tell, in a little bit of a different vibe and setting. We have a really amazing guest today.
Before we get into our goddess mother queen, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us out so much.
Yes, like and subscribe, people. Down below. Takes no time. No. The famous Heather that we always talk about. When someone walks in here, like a typical session, can you explain what that's like?
So first of all, they're usually nervous.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
If it's a first timer. And when they come in, I'm like, hi, I'm Heather. And the first thing I say is, has anybody explained to you why you're here? Mm-hmm. And the first thing they say is, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm going to explain it to you again. And basically I say, listen, I tap into your past, your present, your future. I help to release negative energy, emotional blocks. I talk to their side if they want to come through. I answer questions. I say don't talk to every single dead person that you have lost because I don't really care, not to be rude, but it's all about you and who can help you. Mm-hmm. Because some people do come in for like hardcore trauma healing from grieving and losses, children, spouses, things like that. Even parents, like some people cannot get over a parent's death. So that's like a whole different thing. And then when they come in, like the biggest thing is that I ask their angels, their guides, their higher self, what do they need from me? And sometimes what they need and what they want are two completely different things. Sometimes they don't want to hear what I have to say. I have more people that don't like me in the beginning than do like me.
Yeah, no, I've had that. That's like, I have had sent like people to you and they're like, you know, I expected to walk in and hear about the boy I'm dealing with. And I hear about my mom the whole time. And I'm like, well, these are things that you need to hear.
It's
and you don't even realize.
Yeah.
Not only that, but your mom issues is because you're dating your mother now, because the boy and your mother are the same person.
Yeah, it's so wild.
No, they don't like to hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing is I don't tell you what you want to hear. I tell you what you need to hear to get you better. And sometimes I'm not your friend. You're not paying me to be your friend. You're paying me to give you the truth and validate the crap that you've been through. And there's a reason for it.
In our session the first time, you were like, I'm not here to be nice to you. Like, I'm not like, you were like, I'll be nice to you, but I'm not here to like, we're not here to like make friends. And you're real as fuck. Like, it's like, this isn't like some like woo woo, like,
that's exactly what I was talking
like
about.
Floaty mamas. Like, yeah, you are that, but you're also like,
you're like, girl, you knew this. Get it together.
And you know
down
what's funny is that, you know, it's almost like the chameleon thing, because when I'm in that room, I'm a badass bitch. Like I am more confident in that room than I am confident in anything else in my life. But I'm probably one of the most insecure people when I get ready in the morning. I'm one of the most insecure people, you know, when I'm dating. Like, I mean, I'm so insecure, but yet when you see me in there, you would never think those insecurities came through. And the funny thing is like, it's teaching me to become secure in who I am, because I can't separate that room from who I am anymore. I used to try to be healing Heather and Heather. And when Heather came out, Heather was a little bit of a train wreck. She was a little dippy. She was probably drinking a little too much. She was acting out at sometimes, and she was trying to figure out who she was, because again, we talked about that, you know, I lost my 20s. So I think I always thought I had to find that, because there was I didn't understand. Yeah. I was the most lost person helping people, which doesn't make any sense.
I think it happens that way sometimes because you build such empathy, because like you've gone through experiences and you can, you know, so many people resonate with you, and you can offer not even advice, but just like kind of a shoulder sometimes for people. I think, you know, not that people are broken, but healing people
heals
heal
yourself.
Other people, which then in turn heals you, and it's a really beautiful cycle.
Yeah, and I think we joke that like, you know, you're our almighty, but like you're human.
Yeah, if we're all going through this journey right now, and we're finding ourselves and we're healing, we're all on the spectrum. There's a prism of spectrum of where we're high and low at, where our frequencies are at, and things like that. And I think we're learning that uniqueness is beautiful and not that cookie cutter world. And the one thing I like to show people is that what you've been through on that table is happening around you, but being a victim of it makes it happen to you. And once you stop allowing yourself to carry other people's issues, other people's problems, again, what did I say? When we're born, we're naked, hungry, and trusting. And what do? We conform and accept things. So what does that do to us? It molds us to become that. It molds us to attract it. We attract the void.
Oh my gosh.
If we would all just stop fucking attracting the void and start attracting the one that is aligned and makes us feel good about ourselves, we wouldn't have any heartbreak or trauma.
Louder for the people in the back. And for me.
And also for them. Do lower vibrations attract easier than higher? Like,
no.
Like, does negativity truly breed negativity, or do we just say that to ourselves?
It's funny. That's like 3 questions in one.
I was going to say, damn.
So the first thing is that we were talking about the frequencies. So the first thing we just started talking about the frequencies, but
I love frequencies. I think it's fascinating.
Yes.
So I want you to think about the word that if everything's made of energy. So again, when we're younger, we feel the energy of the reaction. So we start to chameleon to that energy to make somebody else's reaction give us a positive reaction.
Yeah.
So if you ask me, does negative attract differently than positive attract? The answer is absolutely not.
Okay.
It's just easier to be negative than it is to be positive because we are in a society that negativity has been programmed into us. Yeah. We have been made to justify bad behaviors by the people that were doing it because people that were doing it didn't want us to not be okay with them. Like, let's talk.
And you don't want to be disliked, and so you just go along with it. And
most people are raised on white lies, guilt trips, fear, and expectations.
Hell yeah.
And when you literally go through your whole entire existence and you pinpoint those 4 things, you can heal yourself and see where it started. Think about those words.
Yeah.
It's so true.
White lies, fear, guilt trips, and expectations. Because expectations are somebody else's, they're not yours.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, pretty much all of those things belong to somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, totally.
And then we just carry them and develop on them.
So think of it too. You have an innate knowingness of who you are. Your intuition is your soul's barometer of your truth.
Yeah.
But when your barometer feels good, but they are making you feel bad for your barometer, you shut your barometer off and you follow their barometer. And that's energy.
So true. Oh my God. It's so true. Yeah.
Wow. So do you see how many unhealthy relationships you can attract by that one person who makes you not believe in yourself, trust yourself, love yourself because they're uncomfortable with their own life and their fears and insecurities become your fears and insecurities. And everything changes now. So when you come in for a session, like you had asked me, what happens is I see the first core moments of where that happens and I show you what you're carrying and we burn it all and we get rid of it. And we heal it, but I show you the patterns. I show you why you have an eating disorder, and I show you why you go into toxic relationships, and I show you why you attract narcissists. By the way, I hate that word because I believe that no narcissist is born, it's created, and it's a wounded empath that's either given all the attention and they're just entitled to it because nobody taught them they don't going to have it, or who's given none of the attention. And as soon as one person gives it to them, they like it so much that now when it's taken, it's your problem. Every one of us, and that's why they attract the empath. The wounded empath will always attract the empath. And the empath is usually wounded in some way to attract that narcissistic behavior because they see the soul. How many times have you heard me say, don't fall in love with the person they're going to become in your mind, but the person they're standing in front of you as?
That has really
we love potential.
Yeah.
We love holding on to that potential.
Yeah.
But that's self-sabotaging.
Yep.
Totally.
Because you're not looking at the shit show that's in front of you. Yeah. You're cleaning that shit show up in your eyes and you're saying, but they have so much that they could do or that they could become. Or my favorite is justification. They came from a bad background. They had a tough break. They've had this happen. I know they can come out of it. But if they don't want to, if they're not going to do it for them, they're not going to do it for you.
Yeah, that's what we talked about.
I think I like talk about this. I don't know why I talk about, I feel like I talk about this pretty often, but like, you know, setting that kind of expectation for somebody is so unfair.
Oh yeah.
Like what if they don't want to? Like even if, okay, they're a train wreck and they're an asshole and whatever.
They're comfortable.
And then you have this expectation like, no, but I know you can. I know you can be better. Yeah. What if they don't want to? And that's really unfair that you're now like pressuring another person to be somebody for you. Like, why would you do that?
I go back and forth about that. Like I hear you for sure. Yeah. I think it's more like your intention's so good for them and you don't come from a place of like putting an unfair expectation. But I see your side for sure. Like see that and understand that. But
so what happens is that they don't want to change.
Right.
but sometimes they make you think they do.
Oh, they do. They do that.
And so
because they want to make you happy,
because they're feeling
cycle.
your energy, but what they're hoping for is that you'll continue to stay in your low vibration with them because you already started. Yeah.
So hitting heavy, girl.
So let's talk about cheating for a second.
Oh, is this hitting heavy, girl?
Let's talk about cheating.
Let's get real.
Either way, okay? Okay. It's like this. Once somebody cheats on you, and I have a couple of different things about cheating. Once somebody cheats on you and you allow them back in, you're cleaning the slate and saying it's okay. But when you hold that resentment inside of you, that you're waiting for it to happen again, you're energetically waiting for them to mess up. And you're putting it out there that you no longer are 2 feet in that relationship, but you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out, which means that they most likely will do it again because they don't feel comfortable with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It makes so much sense. And I think that this was part of the thing with me and my ex, as like, yeah, we could work past it, but I just know that there's going to be resentment that is going to live in our relationship, and I'm always going to be nervous. And yeah, it's not that I would always have 1 foot out the door, but it would definitely be easier for me to leave a second time. And
take that even one step further too, because it's not even the fact that you couldn't forgive it. Your whole entire relationship, you're waiting for it to happen. So energetically, you are showing him, I don't trust you, prove me wrong. And prove me wrong is not what they do. They prove me right.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like almost like you're manifesting.
Yes, exactly. And because you were talking about energy. So negative energy. So when people say to me, like, I can't find a partner, and they're a train wreck and they're going through stuff and they don't like their bodies and they're eating like shit and they're doing all these different things. And I look at them and I say, would you date you? Are you loving yourself enough to be loved? Because what you're asking for, because I have that whole thing, put 30 things out there that you want as a partner and then circle the things that you are looking for, but you're not putting out there.
Oh, I love that.
And the reason I make you circle them is because I want you to see that what you're asking for and what you're doing are not the same thing.
It's not aligned.
It's not aligned. And alignment and connection are the only 2 things that can bring a relationship together. And disconnect and unalignment are the only 2 things that can take it apart. So if you want a partner, you have to love yourself and know who you are to attract that in. Yeah. Everything in your life has to have alignment. Yeah. And again, energy. So negative alignments will attract each other, and that's called trauma bond.
Oh, good old trauma bond, yeah.
And that is 2 people who lived in a negative world that bonded together over that felt like they understood each other or that they had a connection. Yeah. And that connection is real. It doesn't matter. It's real. The problem why that relationship may not work is not because they both had trauma. It's because one person stays in it and one person grows from it. Yeah. And here we are now, there's no alignment. But what happens is the person who is staying in it is comfortable. The person who's growing out of it is angry that this person is staying in it. So they're going to sit here and they're going to say, listen, I'm here with you. We can do this together. And they're going to stay in it because they never had the intention of getting out of it. You did for them because you thought we were the same. No, they're a mirror for you to see you're not the same anymore. And so what happens is we build resentment of them because they don't want to grow, but we're choosing to stay where they are. They are not forcing us there. We are choosing it because we believe more in them than we care about us.
I've definitely struggled with that. Is there anything, I guess, in your sessions where you saw or like your guides have like told you about that you were like, ooh, I don't know if I'm like, I don't want to touch on that? Or do you just end up saying it all?
I have no filter.
Yeah.
And if I was to stop myself from saying something, it is a disservice to the person on that table because it is not Heather who's doing it. But again, I'm a conduit from something higher that they need to hear. Yeah. So it's a shit show in that room sometimes, but it's also the most beautiful thing to watch people transform from feeling like nobody understands them to feeling like they're so understood. I had a guy come in to see me and he gave me the best compliment in the world. I see a lot of men. After COVID had happened, I just shut down for a few months. When I reopened, I had more people in recovery, children, and men. Wow. Which was beautiful because I have a soft spot in my heart for men because I feel like men are the most misunderstood.
We just said that.
And I feel like they're not appreciated.
We always say that.
Well,
we
the
joke
thing
that
is,
it's a women's pod, but really, yeah, it's true.
The thing is that women have the right to be strong and sensitive. Men only have the right to be strong.
Right. We actually, because it's men's mental health awareness month. And like, that is so, it's just so stigmatized. Whereas for women, it's like, oh yeah, we're all anxious, we're all traumatized. But like a guy can't say that. But then we bitch about them. Like
when
they need support and
not
help
emotionally
just as
connected
much.
to us.
Yeah.
But they weren't trained. They were never trained to be emotionally connected. And I'll tell you one thing, a lot of men who want it now, the women are actually frustrated by it because they feel like they want to be the person who's healing. And they just want that strong person that's letting them. There's so many different ways you can go into things. Men never get thanked.
Okay.
If you think about cheating,
I'm thinking about it.
Most men cheat because they feel unappreciated. There's not one relationship
he
out
literally
there.
said that to me.
Yeah. There's not one relationship out there where cheating happens because somebody is attractive on the outside.
Oh, no.
I always say it's like a house and this is the roof. And when the roof has time to get water in it, that's when cheating can happen. Because these two people create this bond, and then when that bond's broken, somebody can come in.
Yeah.
And what happens is that person coming in is a test for that person. Believe it or not, it's a test. And that test is, am I getting what I need in the house because I'm looking outside? And that person outside is testing them to see if they love this person or if they're over this person. And a lot of times it's the one word I love, alignment. It doesn't mean that the love wasn't there. It means that the alignment's not there anymore.
Yeah. I felt like I had to describe that to my ex. Like he was not getting it.
Yeah.
I was like, I just feel like we're not on the same page in life. And it's not like I never loved you. And I feel like he was very much like, was this all a sham? You know, like for a long time.
But that's a black and white mindset.
Yeah.
And again, if they're literal and they hear things literally, they're not going to hear what you're saying. They're going to hear what you said.
Yeah, I felt that was happening.
And he held on to what you said as your truth instead of understanding that what you're saying is now your truth. And that truth was never false. It's just not the same truth. And that's where the alignment changed. Like he couldn't grow with you.
Yeah. Totally.
But it's also like if you're speaking from a certain place where they aren't, because you're not aligned, like he's just not going to ever be able to understand what you're saying, which is something that like my ex and I dealt with so much, where it was like I was talking myself to death about things that he didn't get, like he didn't understand. And it's like you try and explain yourself to somebody that's just not on the same page or the same level as you, and you're wasting your breath, but it's like exhausting to not be understood.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Or it gets understood as like, you think you're better than me, or like there's this like different
or it comes out totally
what do you
different.
want? Like you want to travel, you want to do that, why don't you want this life? Like I remember those conversations.
Yeah.
I'm like, this life is fine, I just don't think I want this right now. And I don't know how to say this without saying like you're an amazing person, or like you know,
right.
It was hard, but
and that's your empathy.
Yeah.
That was your empathy that kept you in that circle over and over and over again, because you cared too much about hurting him instead of healing you.
Yeah.
And again, that's a fine line too. And I get that.
What happens? I'm so curious too, when like your guides start talking to you, like what does that feel like or sound like, or I guess even with the other side, like with people who have passed.
So this is not for everybody.
No.
Because you have to believe in something bigger than you that cares about you to help you.
Yeah.
You have to believe that there's something bigger within you that cares enough about you that wants to help you.
Yeah.
So this whole world of spirituality has so many different facets. First time I truly felt energy and got physically sick from it, like a lot of energy, was when I took my first flight business trip to St. Louis. And I was seeing clients there for the first time, like ever going anywhere to do that. And I got so sick when I got off the airplane because I realized everybody calls for their guardian angels when they fly.
Oh my God.
And I
Ew,
never,
I just got chills.
and all the energy was on there.
Oh God.
For me, and I never understood it, like the protection, and I threw my guts up for like 3 hours. I was so physically sick because I took it all on. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, gosh, what do you do now?
Protecting you.
What do you do now with like planes, or just, my other question was like just big events or anything where you're in a room like that?
I've learned
Okay.
to kind of say, all right, I'm not working.
All right.
Which was my other mistake, was that I used to kind of, and this is a respect thing for yourself, self-worth, self-esteem, growth. I was like I always call it almost like a sideshow, like a circus sideshow, where everywhere I went, people would find out what I did and I had to perform.
Yeah.
So I was known as a psychic. I was known as a medium. I was known as a Reiki. But what I did notice is that when I opened Tru, I had to become a businesswoman. I had to have self-worth. I had to have self-respect. I had to put myself out there in a different thing than just giving it away for free.
Yeah.
And once that happened, I switched it from those words to an intuitive trauma healer. What happened is I was like, I really want to focus on people that have a lot of stuff that they want to let go of and don't just want to talk to their great grandmother that passed away and just don't want to find out if they're going to be with the boy tomorrow. Like the psychic part is nice, but it's free will choice too. Like no psychic is going to tell you everything if you decide to do something else. So if you come in and see me and I clear your past relationship off of you and you sleep with him 3 days after I do it, you just changed the course of your free will.
Right.
You changed the course of your destiny. You changed the course of your fate because you took what we did and you said, nope, I want him. Yeah. So everything I just did
you change what
to
you're
give
omitting.
you everything I told you could have in 6 months, now you just changed that course.
Which honestly brings us to the word destiny.
Our D word.
Our D word of the week is destiny. And just wondering if you believe in that.
Destiny is really interesting because I sat down with myself and I was like, do I believe in destiny? And then I thought, well, what do you do, Heather? And I was like, every single person that you meet in this sessions, on the street, anywhere, you're destined to meet them.
Yeah.
I'm a believer that I can't say believer, but I've taught myself to believe, because I don't know what else to make sense of it, that we all come here with a script. We wrote our script. We picked the characters. We picked the scenarios. But free will choice takes us from one chip to another, to another, to another. The script isn't written like this. The script's written like this. And what happens is all those things will come together that bring you to your destiny, or the destination, maybe not even destiny, but the destination of why your purpose was here on earth. But as far as the word destiny, I believe that there are predestined things that are meant to happen. They're like aha moments. They could be, ceremonies, big things like that. But how we get there is our choices.
Yeah.
But even more important, the choices of other people. Their free will choices changes our destiny. When somebody breaks up with us, they just changed our destiny.
Yeah.
We didn't ask for it. When somebody passes away, when somebody loses a spouse, our whole entire destiny changes. So it's almost like you have to believe in something to believe in fate. And you have to believe in something to believe in destiny. You have to believe in something bigger than you, that you created this world with something bigger than you to have this destiny.
Yeah. Yeah. I sat with myself too. I'm like, do I believe in it? But I do. I feel like you do meet people. Everyone's there for a reason. And they can be taken out of your life. You can take them out of your life. But like 100%. It's all set up in a way. But we do have free will and we can change it at any time. So then you question, you're like, is it destiny? But then you're like, you go back and forth in your head. But yeah.
It's so hard. So I'm just in such like a jaded space currently where like, of course I do think everything happens for a reason, like everything. Like I'll like drop my coffee in the morning and be like, well, that was supposed to happen. Like, cause that's just how I'm living currently. So it makes me feel better. But like, I don't really like believe in soulmates or any of that kind of, so like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, I go back and forth.
Soulmates.
Well, we're soul ties, soul sisters.
Yeah.
I mean, soul ties, but like a full on like soulmate,
person.
like a person that's meant for you. And so if I can't believe in that, can I believe in destiny, which is kind of like situations that are meant for you?
So let's look at the word soulmate for a second, because everybody has like all these different ideas. What if a soulmate is an aligned connection that you're meant to have to either grow with, or they leave a stamp of something for you to grow in another direction?
Like we have several soulmates.
Like
we have many. You're talking about romantic.
Yeah.
That I can get on board with.
I think we could have more than one romantic soulmate.
1,000,000%. With the soul connections and stuff like that, I'm a believer that every single person before they got here chose to meet the people here.
Yeah.
They're all the characters in their movie. We just jump in each other's scenes, but you always stay in your own movie. So I'm a believer that children choose their parents. Parents don't choose their children.
That's right.
So your kids already, if you're supposed to have kids, your kids already picked their daddy.
Heather,
Are we supposed to have kids?
are we seeing kids?
Go one by one.
Tell me.
Who's first?
I don't know if you're going to.
Okay. That makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
Because you're on a fence between and this is not being selfish, but coming into your own and living the freedom of a child now that you felt like you couldn't live when you were a child.
Yeah.
But if you were to have one, they would have to experience everything that you were experiencing. In other words, you wouldn't just be that stay-at-home mom. You would actually be this mom barefoot out there, like having fun. Like, and I'm not talking about hippie barefoot. I'm just talking about like living, like going out there, being on the beach, going here, like traveling. Like your kid would be like with you.
Yeah.
Like a little adult. Not really, but like a buddy.
But what you would do is,
that, though.
I'm going to be honest. If you were meant to have a child, your child's choosing you for self-expression, to be their truest, authentic self, because you always wanted to have that and be accepted for it.
Aw.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, all along I've been like, I'm not gonna have kids. I'm never gonna have kids. Mostly because I think that I would resent my decision and resent having to be a mother, just to be honest, because I'm very selfish.
It's not even selfish. You want the freedom.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's not selfish. Don't ever look at it as selfish. The fact that you don't bring a child into this world and resent them would be selfish.
So
That would be the selfish. The
Yeah.
selfish,
So
the selfish, the selfish person would be the person that would bring it in because it looks good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm checking the boxes off. You know, and let somebody else raise them. Like I'm being
Loves
honest.
a box check.
We love to check a box.
Yes.
Not anymore. I'm kind of just going with the
Yeah,
flow.
I know.
You though, you seem like you transition back and forth with decisions.
Yeah,
Like I feel like there's a part of that maternal in you
totally.
that is really come out recently compared to what it was before.
Yeah.
So I think for you, it's your partner that makes you comfortable enough to want to have them.
My gosh. It's
More
literally-
so
Yeah.
the fact that I've always wanted it.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's like you weren't the little girl that was playing with baby dolls,
No.
you know?
Yeah. I think I always felt that about myself. Like I felt maternal in some ways, but then I did recently say I would have to take like someone really great to like raise a child with.
But that's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
You said the word with, and that's the mentality from back in the day to now. Most women want a partner that does everything together. The Gen X, which is what I'm from, we were taught that we do everything and they do this. And that's just how it was. So we accepted it, but we resented it because we were growing out of it, but weren't allowed to resent it.
Yes.
The millennials, which is what you guys are in, you guys are the first generation who literally said, it's okay to travel. It's okay not to have children. It's okay not to have a retirement. It's okay not to take care of your parents. It's not selfish. It's self-preservation. It's just knowing myself.
Yeah.
But again, other generations didn't have that opportunity to look at you as selfish. It's not selfish. You're also the first generation who, if you have children, do not want to take care of your grandchildren. Some of the X's and the millennials are the first generations that don't want to raise their grandchildren.
Yeah, I could see it. Like if I were to have a kid, like my mom would love it, but she'd be like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
This is yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the percentage of kids that think that because their grandparents were so involved, a lot of them, that they expect their parents to raise them. So they're having them in the millennial ages, but their parents aren't, which would be the Generation X's, aren't taking care of them.
Oh, well, that's going to be a problem.
So it's very interesting because most Generation X's literally live their whole entire 20s and part of their maybe early 30s in complete tunnel vision of what has to get done. And they're waking up in their 40s and 50s and saying, what the fuck happened?
I am so
That would've been me.
scared of that.
Because
Oh my God.
they look at their husband, they look at their life, and they're like, I don't know who you are because I don't know who I am because we never ever got to live it. You had to just do it. So waking up in my 30s and being like, oh my God, like who am I? And then thinking I'm my 20s, but I'm not my 20s. And here I am now in my 40s, and I'm just kind of like finding myself in my 40s. And I always say, I've been grown my whole life.
Me too.
But I've literally just, I'm trying to figure out who Heather is as an adult.
Yeah, same.
Like what do I like? What don't I like? So I'm on my own spiritual awakening, but almost an awakening of not healing from trauma, but self-discovery,
Yes.
which is another part of spiritual awakening. It's not just the trauma. And here's the thing. Trauma, we call it that when we're still in a victim mentality. Experiences is what we call it after we heal.
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
beautiful.
I like that so much more.
That's really good.
Because the more you call it trauma, the more you get stuck in the word of it.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
But then when you look at experience, you've grown from it because you've learned from that experience.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, so maybe children, who knows?
It's not looking good for me.
when you finally realize who you are, when you finally realize what you like, what you don't like, what you align with, what you don't align with, what you're attracted to, what you're not attracted to, what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy, and you don't care what anybody else thinks or says, nor are you ever jealous of anybody else has, because you have enough and your gratitude is bigger than anything, you have come to a place where nothing but good is going to come.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. We have to stop looking at who has what and who's doing what. And we have to start looking at what we have and what we're doing.
Gratitude.
It's gratitude. And gratitude will bring you the destiny.
Ugh. Gratitude. Yeah. I have learned that gratitude, like you can't manifest anything without gratitude. Like you have to have, like you have to be grateful for what you have, and you have to look at your life and be grateful for that. Like you can't just think things are going to just float your way without it.
And the thing is like, I am beyond grateful to have Tru. I am beyond grateful to have all the people that, you know, are at Tru, and the, you know, they are, and everybody here does something different. Everybody's grateful to be part of Tru's tribe. And I'm so proud that every single person who's come here, for the most part, leaves here loving themselves just a little bit more, and believes in themselves just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like my gift to healing everybody's inner child. And my gift to the world is making everybody want to give more of themselves in a good way back.
I mean,
incredible.
Yeah. You read me this morning, and I am like, yeah, I feel so much better.
Well, you're glowy now.
I feel
you
ready
weren't glowy
to
earlier.
Like, give the world a better version of me. Cause I said it last week on the podcast, but like, I've been having kind of a rough time. And like, so that was so helpful to just be regrounded, but also to like clear some stuff off. And you leave here lighter and feeling better. And when I leave, I'm like, okay, don't fuck up your energy now.
Like, stay the course.
Don't make any bad decisions.
You know, everyone I ask who come, like, they'll sit my chair, like, oh my God, I saw Heather. Like, everyone sits down, they're like, I'm like, this is so great. I'm like, the one question I do ask though at the end, I'm like, how did you feel? Like, after?
And what do they say?
They're just like lighter.
It says they feel lighter, but do you know what that lightness is?
Releasing
everybody else's stuff. You cannot hold on to anybody else's energy, anybody else's story, anybody else's anything. It will not stay on you. So what happens is you're holding on to it because you feel like you have to.
Yeah.
So when I give you permission to let go of everybody else's stuff but your own, that's how free you feel. That's how much you hold on to.
It's so, we don't even realize it, how much we hold on to.
How do you, like, can people do that? Like if like, for example, last week I was feeling really overwhelmed and was definitely carrying other people's stuff on top of my own stuff. Like, what are the little practices that people can do at home, or like we can do at home when we're feeling like we're carrying a lot of other people, or like what kind of clearing?
So the first thing I think it is, just in general, is write down what is weighing you down. Just write it down. And then ask yourself, is this a me issue or a them issue? And if it's a them issue, then you can burn it. You can close your eyes and you can do what we do in session, which is just like letting it go, releasing it, burning it. You can just kind of say, it's not mine, just noticing it's not yours. Or you can ask yourself, what is it triggering?
Yeah.
Acknowledging that. Yeah.
And I think those two practices in the moment. Now, if you wait 5 weeks and it like it's all up, and like then it's probably when you're calling me. But if you do it when you're feeling it that moment, even if you jot it down on your phone and you go back to it, you can heal that and immediately, because it's energy.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a fleeting feeling. But you have to block yourself from receiving it. How many times have nurses said, you know, I've heard my patient's family say, I just want to take it from you. I just want to take it from them. That is the worst thing you can do, because most times after somebody is a caretaker and they lose somebody, they get in a car accident, they get hurt,
Yeah.
they get sick, something bad happens because they need a complete reset from everything they just took on.
Wow.
And they have survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
And so they have to have a reset. Best thing you can do for somebody in your field is always say whatever's meant for them, whatever gives them peace. And you give it to that and you don't take it on.
Yeah.
And with everybody else, you just say whatever gives them peace and you walk away from it. We don't know what peace is for them. We don't know what happiness is for them. What we think is best for them might not be what they want.
Yeah. Again, that's such an ego trip to think that you would know. To take on someone else's weight. Like you're not having their experience. How could you possibly?
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's huge. Once you actually learn that it's not your responsibility, you heal. And you're happier.
Yeah.
And you're weightless.
Totally.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with you, the way people choose to live.
Okay, wait, I want to ask Heather about all of the glass breaking on my vacation.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I don't know if this will make it in or not, but so I did a solo trip because you were like, you're going to heal in your water. So I went to Portugal.
Okay.
And I did. So I went on a solo trip to Portugal, and then this guy that I'm seeing, I invited him and we went to Spain together for a couple of days.
So taking you completely out of your comfort zone. I mean, like because you have a mind where everything has a certain, like you have an itinerary in your head you don't even realize.
Oh, yes. I'm very.
And he's not the same. He's very flowy. Or very unflowy. Girl, you are not flowy. The reason that it's bothering you is because it's a reflection of something that you're working on with yourself.
100%.
You would like to be more flowy.
Yes.
You would like to be able to not have to have control issues.
Yes. I'm trying so hard.
So you don't have to try. You have to pick and choose where you can be flowy and bendable and where you can't be. I think for you, 99.9% of the way that you operate in life is fear of being controlled.
I hate being controlled.
But it's because,
Don't order my salad.
I'm crazy. Don't do anything for me.
We were talking about like men like
everything.
paying for the bill and all that stuff, and I was like, I'm letting them. She was like, I don't need it.
I think this is also why I've always had problems with jobs, like the job I have now, because I don't want to be told what to do and I don't want to be told where to be.
Okay, but the thing is that it's an authority thing too. Because the people who were in authority with you might not have made you feel safe. Okay,
yeah,
so anybody who tells you what to do makes you feel unsafe. But also when you're a child who's told constantly, you're not doing that right, you're not doing this right, don't trust your intuition, don't do this, like you have to do it my way. As an adult, you refuse to let anybody control you. As an adult, you refuse to let anybody tell you you're wrong. And you don't give them the opportunity to let them give you corrective criticism because you take it as an insult.
Yes.
But they're telling you from their experience. You're doing it from your experience. So you have to say to yourself, they're not trying to tell me I'm wrong. They're showing me from a different perspective. And how do we learn? By seeing things from different perspectives. And when they do it in a kind way, it's not coming off to hurt you. It's coming off to educate you and open you. So you had said that, you were in a very state when you were on this last side of your vacation, right? The last leg of your vacation.
Yeah.
So your energy was not calm.
Oh, no. I was trying, but it was
Can I be honest? You weren't very nice, were you?
Oh, I was very mean to him.
Yeah, that person didn't like you.
Yeah.
It was a female.
Wait, who?
You said you had glass breaking.
Oh, there was so much glass.
Uh-huh.
Wait, on our whole trip, so much glass broke.
I know.
The
it was
windshield
energy.
of the car.
I know. It was an energy.
shower.
It's a female that protects him and didn't like how you treated him. Yeah. It's an older female energy and she didn't like how you treated him.
That's honestly completely fair. I
said,
was
"Ma'am?"
so mean because he was making me anxious.
Yeah, but you were like it was his way of seeing this is not good. This is broken. This is broken. This is broken. This is broken. He was supposed to get the memo. But he's getting a lot of red flags of what he shouldn't be dating, by the way. But he's looking at you and saying, I see her soul.
Oh God. I better get it together.
You're fine.
Do you see what I'm saying? He sees who you really are. You're projecting who you're projecting a fearful version of who you are. Like it's almost like you're still that girl who won't let anybody in because you're afraid they're going to hurt you.
Literally yesterday, he was like, "Let me in." Like you have to.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You've never let anybody fully in. Not fully, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And every relationship has not turned out forever because you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out, which is aligned with people that are 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Am I wrong?
That's true.
So what happens if you try 2 feet in?
I lose control. I don't know.
You don't lose control, but you trust.
I lose the option. Yeah, it's a lot of trust.
It's trust. And here's the thing. Staying stuck in this fear is going to sabotage your peace.
I know. And I don't know how to fix it, but you're so right.
It's not fixing it. It's taking it one day at a time and becoming a little bendable every day. He's kind.
Oh, he's the best. Yeah.
And he's not trying to control you. He's honestly saying, let me be your partner and let's do it together.
He literally said that to me yesterday.
Be honest, like that's the thing. Like even your old relationship, he was fixing you. He was helping you. And you let him, and then you got mad at yourself for letting him.
Yeah, I got mad at everybody.
But first thing is, instead of rolling your eyes, you're going to try the word thank you. So when he does something, I'm going to be honest, his patience with you,
amazing.
He is like God sent. He lets you be an equal.
Yeah, which is honestly what I say I want.
It's Dutch. You're a Dutch relationship.
Oh.
It's
equal.
why I want to pay.
I'm like, you can take the check, babe. I'm good.
See, I agree with that. I mean, the thing is I will always help out and I'll do, but there's something about that feeling of feeling secure,
feminine,
especially when I'm a strong woman.
But like, she
says the same thing.
I want that feeling that I can be strong and vulnerable at the same time. And I think that man, like opening my door, that man, you know, setting the, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, you asked me something about me. I am on 24/7. I am helping everybody. I am doing everything. I'm raising teenagers. I don't want to think about anything when I'm with you. I want my relationship. I want my relationship to be escape from reality. I don't want to talk about anything serious, and that's the sad part because they're usually drawn to me because they do want to talk about serious. I don't want to talk about anything serious. I want you to wind me. I want you to take me out. I want to have fun. I want to laugh. I want to feel like that girl. I want to be that girl. I don't mind being arm candy at this point. I don't really care. I just don't want to have to be on anymore. Yeah. So for dating, it's kind of like. First of all, like, you know, everybody gets freaked out, like, you know, they're dating me. I was telling you, I got ghosted for talking to Ghost.
How ironic.
Yeah, some guy ghosted me because I talked to dead
didn't like
people.
That. I was actually wondering that if that freaks people out.
Yeah, they didn't like it, and a lot of guys.
You're a man to like it,
and then guys don't like it, like they don't believe in it. They're like, that's woohooey and this and that, and you know.
And then you automatically know that.
But I have family that said to me that one family member said to me, "We don't hate you, but like we don't believe in what you do. But if you make a living at it, then that's good." And I was like, "Oh, thanks. I might not be everybody's thing, but there might be something that they like." So I feel like whatever anybody gets out of anything that I do is what was meant. And I feel like with you guys, like. Everything you've been through brought you to respect and understand each other too. Like both of your experiences that were traumas, which are now experiences, made you relate to each other.
So,
your first call.
Yeah.
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 Right?
And it was like years later, honestly, since I've seen you.
And it's amazing, even recently. And like I have a lot of friends, but like I feel like recently when I'm really going through shit, first call. Like I call you for everything because I'm like, I don't think that literally anyone else can understand this feeling.
Isn't that the most amazing feeling?
Yeah. You're like the only person, you and my therapist.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like with Tru, the biggest thing about Tru is building community. Like I want men's support groups.
Yes.
We're going to have a divorce.
Men need better support. Really.
They do. Men
Because we bitch about them, but then they have no resources.
No, and I just told you, I said men have the worst situation because women are empowered all the time. Be stronger, do this. But it's okay to be sensitive. It's okay to cry. It's okay to do this because you're women. Men, they're expected to, you know, provide and to keep it together and to be tough and to do all these things, but they're never
stay loyal.
And to stay loyal. Yes.
And to also be emotionally intelligent.
Yes.
Yeah. And how
But then they're also not appreciated. I'm sorry. Men are not appreciated. You know what's really a double standard and it really pisses me off is why can't we, and society has done this, men need compliments.
Gosh,
and you're not allowed, and we can't compliment them because if we tell them they're good looking, we tell them they have beautiful eyes, we tell them that they, you know, wow, your energy, the first thing they think is they're going to have sex with us. So it's our fear that they're going to do that because we're going to come off wrong. So where does it change at? Where are we able to start having it where a guy can tell us we're beautiful and we don't have to be afraid of them wanting to be with us? But why can't we tell a guy that he's good looking and him just say thank you? Like, where does that come from? Because it has to start somewhere because it hasn't started.
I almost did it yesterday, actually. There was a man at the gym that I'm good. Like, I'm not looking for anything.
Yeah, I get that.
He was just so beautiful. Like he was just, I was like, what is this? Like,
I have.
And I wanted to say just like,
You're doing great, guy.
yeah, you look great. Like you're just beautiful.
Keep doing it.
But you can't.
And
I
here's
love
the
giving
thing.
compliments.
I think that's something we should all do. I think we should start complimenting men.
You heard it here first.
And the
heard
reason
it here
why,
first.
and I'm going to tell you why, is because if we can help them feel good about themselves, they'll be better.
To us.
Of not only that, but they'll be
Partners and-
happier. They'll have more energy. I have an 18-year-old son.
I was going to say, you have a teenage boy.
I have
Yeah.
a 16-year-old daughter. I have an 18-year-old son. My son, I always say, is like a 90-year-old trapped inside of a little boy body.
That's cute.
Oh.
I mean, he has a girlfriend now, and he walked up to the front door when it was raining with the umbrella to make sure she didn't get wet, and took her back to the car, opened the car door, and made sure she had everything.
Yes.
But it's a shame that that's expected. Like that is expected. And it's not a shame, but like she probably got...
okay.
Hold on.
She was shocked. She was shocked.
But like to get in the car and then like I'd be like, okay, thanks. But that's like actually a really big, really nice gesture.
But here's the thing. Nowadays, it's
That
not
should be
expected, though.
acknowledged.
Nowadays, kids aren't like that at all.
No, it's not like that at all. So when it happens, you're like, oh.
Yeah, like my son
Oh,
is like a
maybe I'm just dating
1920s.
gentlemen. I
You
don't
probably are, because that's like a 1920s like gentleman my son is.
No,
Like
that's
my son would tell,
fantastic.
you know,
they're
girls
not,
like,
they're not all like that.
no, I mean,
Whatever.
nowadays it's Dutch world. I mean, if you're out there dating anybody under 40, it's totally split the check.
I'll split the check, but I want all of my luggage carried through the airport.
Okay.
I know. That's why I said, like, it's so.
It's unfair. It's unfair.
But you know what? Here's the thing. What are you going to do for them in return of them carrying your luggage? Let's
Have
talk about
sex
that.
with them.
No, because that's an exchange. That
No,
is
I know.
not.
I'm joking,
Because
I'm
then you might as well have them pay you.
Well, I feel like sex was like what they get previously. Like that was the exchange.
Yeah, but that's
old school.
not fair.
No, and I'm agreeing. I'm joking.
Because
I'm
then,
agreeing.
okay, then take it one step further. Once she stops having sex, that's when he goes out for somebody else, because sex is love and love is sex. And now he doesn't feel loved. And then you're asking why he's cheating. It's because he carried your luggage. He does this, he does that. You're not wanting to have sex with him anymore because that was the exchange. That's how you showed him love and appreciation. And that's where he cheats.
Did you talk to my ex?
I think the biggest thing with relationships is, let's talk about this. What if you said to somebody in the very beginning, what are things that are important to you as the male in this relationship? And what, not your expectations, but what would you like from me? And she said the same, and then you guys wrote a list and got to discuss that list. And you also said, if you decide to have children, what are you expecting as a parent? What are your expectations of a parent? What does parenthood look like you? What's going to change in our relationship when we become parents? When I tell people, I said, would you marry them if they didn't put a ring on your finger? In other words, would you be with them if they didn't want to marry you? Like if they didn't want the ring, like if they just wanted a commitment forever, but they didn't want to give you the wedding, would you want to be with them? And then I said, would you stay with them if they couldn't have children? And if they say no to me, I said, you're not marrying for love, you're marrying for family.
That's really interesting.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you know I'm tough in that room.
No,
Yeah.
I love it. I love
No, but it's like, yeah, are you down for, you know, maybe not the fantasy life that you think could be coming?
Yeah.
Like, are you creating a narrative and that's why you're getting into this relationship? Or are you down for what it really is right now?
And a thing is, okay, so we talk about resentment. And I always said my one dating thing, when they ask you the questions, like what's your favorite quote? My quote was expectations are resentments waiting to happen. We say we're not going to have expectations, but we all do.
Yeah.
The problem is that we have to go in seeing who they are again. But we have to not have expectations of what it's going to look like later.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people, men and women, have an idea from their childhood, whether it's to break the cycle, become the cycle of what this other partner is going to be. So again, when you come from these traumatic experiences, you're either doing it differently, but you're making excuses, you're aligning down here. And then what happens if we don't heal together? We don't work together. It's okay. Like, we both have the right to get out of things. But nobody wants to be the bad guy.
Oh,
Well,
I had to divorce. Like, I had to say that I needed the divorce. I wanted it because I wasn't the same person.
right.
I totally changed who I was. I mean, my ex-husband, I had a brain injury. You know, he stuck by me through a lot, but we never got the beginnings.
I was going to ask you actually, so with your divorce, because he kind of like cared for you through the injury,
Yeah.
did you carry so much guilt asking for a divorce? Like, did you feel like you should stay because he took care of you?
So here's the thing. I always felt like I never could grow with him because he only knew me as broken. I was strong in some aspects. I worked 3 jobs, you know, like I came from the family dynamics I came from. But we never dated. We never dated. We never had that whirlwind thing. Like I couldn't be the person he needed me to be because I didn't even know who I was. And I couldn't, and I resented myself. I resented him sometimes because I couldn't grow. I had 2 kids, which I wanted. I wanted kids.
Right.
But as soon as I had my kids, and this is why I say it from experience, I changed because I got what I wanted. I don't know if I was disabled. I was walking with a cane. I couldn't work. So of course, I loved his family. So of course, for me, I wanted the whole world. But he wasn't ready to get married. He didn't. Even when we got engaged, he wanted a long engagement. I was with him for 6.5 years before he proposed. We got married in less than a year.
Okay.
Because my biological clock was ticking. I wanted a baby, so I had one at 29 and one at 30. And once the kids came, I gave my kids everything, and I wasn't the same person for him. Like I still was there, but it wasn't the same. And I don't blame him for the marriage not working. I blame me for it not working because I wasn't whole. I had so many holes in me. I was so broken. And I looked to him to fix my daddy issues and fix my voids. And he wasn't a bad guy. He just wasn't the guy for me. I felt bad because I didn't want to destroy my kids' family because I always knew that I had a broken family. I didn't want my kids to have it. In the beginning, I would go to his house. I would make breakfast for the kids. I made my whole schedule around the kids and making his life as easy as I could. So that was my guilt.
I was going to say, do you think
that was my
done out of
guilt?
Yeah.
My guilt was that. My guilt was I hurt everybody. But I'm not sorry.
Right.
And my son even said to me, he's like, you wouldn't be you, Mom. He's like, it would have been a different life.
And it seems like they turned out great. And
I have great kids.
You know,
Of course you do.
these experiences that they have build who they are too. So
As a mother of a boy and a girl, I see both sides. So I look at my daughter and I'm like, I want her to have a gentleman, but at my son, I don't want you to be taken advantage of. My son said to me, Mom, he's the one who said the compliments. He said, do you know that boys just need a compliment every once in a while because you just have no self-esteem?
absolutely. And where are they supposed to get it from?
And as soon as you put a boy on blast, a lot of times they find everything wrong with them, not right with them.
Well, it's the other thing. I think people
social
are so
media
quick
is
to
horrible.
insult men
Yes.
or boys, but they never raise them up.
Yeah.
So, and where is that supposed to come from then?
Like, do you know how many women come in and tell me how they feel so rejected because, you know, like they only have like this 1 or 2 dates on a dating app, you know, and this guy didn't reach back out and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I said, but how many people did you swipe over? Like, how many people did you not? I said, if you were at a bar, I said, would you talk to every guy in there? No, you would only talk to the one that you were connected with. But would you feel bad for all the ones you didn't talk to? No. Like this whole world of having to be identified and validated by other people. I always said this. I always wanted to be a 5 foot. I always wanted to be 5 foot tall because I'm tall with long, naturally black curly hair. Of course, I'm like this tall blonde, but I wanted to be that. And I always said, if a guy wants to be with somebody that looks like that, he's not going to be interested in me.
Right.
And it's not because I'm not enough. I'm not his enough. I'm not what he's attracted to. And once you realize that you're not everybody's everything, and it's okay if they're not into you because somebody else will be, it takes away from it. But everybody takes everything so personal.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah. Like what? You're supposed to be everybody's type, everybody's.
Yes.
No,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. Like my personality is certainly not for everyone. And that's cool.
Yeah.
And
that's
But
Is
it's
it?
hard to accept.
But
you
it's
know?
for someone.
But is it okay if somebody's not attracted to you? Do you take that as rejection if somebody doesn't think you're beautiful?
Yeah.
See? But how many people have you looked at and said, I would never date them?
So true.
Pretty much
Practice what
everyone.
we preach.
See?
Right. I mean, I did the same. I've done it. Yeah, I've done it too.
Isn't that
Yeah.
interesting?
For sure.
And that's a reflection of what you have to work on with yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that you don't need them to approve of you. You only need to approve of you.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah.
I love complimenting my
It's
man.
hard.
I'm telling
Complimenting
you,
your
we're going
man?
to start
Yeah, I
complimenting.
complimenting my man all the time. I love it.
I love that.
I
No,
do
I really
heavily
do.
compliment him. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to hear it. Because I also like to hear it.
Exactly. And that's an
do
exchange. And that's an exchange.
Yeah.
And I believe that relationships are like tennis. You give and receive in balance.
At least with this relationship I'm in now, that was one of the first things we did. I was like, how do you want to be loved? Like, how do you receive that? Like, I need to know because I need to give that to you, and vice versa. Like, that's
so
what it's about.
So he and you are aligned because you can have those conversations.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men out there and women out there that are not comfortable with those conversations. And how do you want to be loved? Like they don't know themselves. So all the experiences you've been through allowed you to have that conversation without fear of what he was going to say.
Yeah. Rejection.
That's huge.
Yeah. That was huge for me.
I'm really proud of you. That's amazing. Everybody should do that. Everybody should talk about how they want to be loved and how they perceive love and how they give love. Because when we love, we're taught how to love.
Yeah.
And so what happens is that we feel people aren't loving us the right way because we need to be loved a different way, and we're testing them. And when they don't love us that way, we feel rejected, but it's just their way of loving.
Yeah. And like, how are they supposed to know if you never talk about it?
Like
so Heather, how can people connect with you?
So they can go on the website, truhealingcenter.com. They can go on Instagram, which is under Tru Healing Center. Pretty much I kept it very basic. They can go on YouTube, Tru Healing Center. I'm doing virtual now because I can't see everybody. So do meditations, like mindfulness meditations and stuff, midday, like lunch breaks on Mondays. I'm not doing them, but Carol will be doing them.
Awesome.
And then there's different events that we run like every month. I like to keep it new. And I also want to hear what people want, because my biggest thing is like, I believe everybody can heal everybody else. And coming into a room where everybody understands each other and they don't feel judged is what this is about. And I want to have this room packed with people that want to make connections, that want to be understood, and that want to help heal each other, not just come in to heal themselves.
Wow. Yeah, that's
So I'm super excited about that.
Awesome. Cool.
That's great. I
So
love
if
it.
people follow you, they can kind of...
Absolutely.
Info. I feel like you covered so much.
We did. But if there are like viewers or listeners that want to ask questions,
Yeah,
we
like
can
in the comments
definitely
below.
do a Q&A with her at some
that's
point.
no problem. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. This was so great though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this so much. Thank you.
Oh my God,
really,
thank you so much.
really.
And most success on this show, because I think that you're helping so many people. You're so relatable. There's so many women out there that look at you and they're like, oh my God, they're going through it too. And the conversations and the topics you're talking about, you're going to hit on everybody. Somebody somewhere is going to need to hear this. And you can feel your amazing energy and that bestie vibe. And honestly, the bantering back and forth is awesome, but you guys have a respect for each other where you don't shut each other down. You listen, which is amazing, because a lot of times it's hard to listen, which is something I'm actually working on because I talk so much. But listening is a gift.
At listening, I have, this show has actually made me be a better listener. Like, you have to like let people speak and not listen to respond, listen to hear. I have learned that it is hard.
That's what I was trying to say, but I got messed up on the words. Like, absolutely, like, here.
Yeah.
Because people aren't talking at you waiting for your response. They're trying to tell you something. It's like, you got to listen.
Right. Sometimes I'm so like, I don't, in my head where I'm like, all right, I'm supposed to touch on this. And then like, I'm in my head about it. And I'm like, but I need to get to that. And then I say it. And I'm like, that didn't. You weren't listening.
Hard.
So like, even in life, not even for the podcast, but I'm like,
or like when someone gives you their name and you're so focused on telling them your name that you're like, oh my God, I don't even know their name. Like someone will meet you and be like, hi, I'm Jess. And you're so focused on being like, I'm Lynette.
And you're like, I don't remember her name at
That
all.
you like totally forget their name. Have you ever done that?
That's real.
I'm the worst with names. I'm good at faces.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah.
But you're the best.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love you so much.
I'm sure
Seriously.
we'll see each other more.
Oh, definitely.
This is not going to be the last time.
Nope.
And
This has been a bonding experience. You can't get rid of us now.
No.
I can't wait to like watch your shows.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Oh my
And
gosh.
like I said, there's clients of mine that have been telling me about them, especially when I told them I was going to be on it. So you have a pretty good following already, and I think it's going to get bigger.
Getting that D today, baby.
We got a lot
We
of
got
stuff
the day.
D down.
I started early.
Well, we love you guys, and thank you for like tuning into this. This
Thanks
is a
for watching,
huge
girlies.
episode, and thank you, Heather,
Yeah.
again.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Heather.
seriously.
Thank you.
So great.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like and
See you
subscribe.
babes next week.
See you, babes. Mwah.